everyone. We are back, and I again have my son with me here. He's going to help me with some flashcards to go over what we were talking about last night. So I am going to jump right in and get back to how to get traffic to your blog or website. These tips are not just for people who have control over their website. I know some of you out there are a part of a company like Avon or Rodan and Fields or any of those types of companies, and they do not give you a lot of flexibility with your website. So these tips will also help you in regards to getting more traffic to that website without having to reinvent the wheel. So, quick introduction. I am Laura Reich with Envision Advertising. This is my 8-year-old son, Skylar.
Hello.
Yep, and he is going to be helping us this morning since we are doing take 2 of how to get more traffic to your blog or your website. So, first one, hold it up, buddy. Real close. There you go. Alright, so the first one we're going to talk about is guest blogging. You can hold it right there. Good job. So guest blogging is a really good way for everyone who has control over their blog or who does not have control over their blog. Guest blogging sets you up as an industry expert in your field. It gives you the opportunity to speak your tone and your voice. It gives you the opportunity to link back to your website, whether it's a website you control or whether it's a website that you were provided by the company. And if you guys are watching, definitely make sure to type in the chat, good morning, hello, so that I can say hello and make sure I know everybody's here. If you're new, type new in the chat. I would love to introduce myself to you. So, good morning, Fran. I see you are on here. Thank you for joining us this morning. So, guest blogging. Guest blogging is pretty much what it sounds like. You write a blog article for another company that has control over their website and can post it on their website for you. And so this not only helps you not have to set up a website to be able to blog on if you don't have the ability to do so, but it also gives you the opportunity to speak your personality and your branding and why you do what you do in that blog while linking back to your website. So you can either do that if you have control of your website, like mine is my website. I built it, so I have control of it. I can blog on it, but I also do guest blogging. It's just a step up from blogging on my blog. It gets more visibility. It gives me more credibility. I get out there a little bit further. Just make sure you do your research on who you are going to be guest blogging for. Okay, flip. If you do not know, thank you. School starts in a couple weeks, so I will no longer have a sidekick. But for right now, I have a sidekick. So number 2 is blogging on LinkedIn. So say you are not sure how to get started contacting people to guest blog on their websites. Then blogging on LinkedIn is going to be a fairly easier one for you to tackle. Most of us already have a LinkedIn profile set up, and so it's just as easy as going on there and starting a new post, but you do it as a blog. You get to choose your own media and cover photo images and things like that. It goes out to all your LinkedIn connections and updates right away, but also you are provided a link that you can share on other social media. You can share in emails. Please don't. You can share in emails, you can share in anywhere you want. So not only does it get traffic back to your LinkedIn profile, back to that blog, but again, you have full creative control. You can speak your personality, you can set yourself up as that industry leader again, or you can go back and you can link that website. So for example, if you are an Arbonne distributor, you don't have control over your website, but you know that there is some really great benefits that you've seen in your life happen with Arbonne. Or Fran, like the coffees that you have. You could go to LinkedIn and write about your personal experience, write about your why, whatever you want to blog about, and you put it on LinkedIn, and then you link back to your website, your main website. So it would be your coffee website where people sign up to hear more. Or it would be the Arbonne website where the product is listed. They don't necessarily have to click on that, but if you write your blog in the tone that they're interested in more and they want to read more and it captures their interest from what you're doing, then they're obviously going to want to click on that. So that is another way, whether you have control or not of your blog. If you do have control of your website, write a micro blog, a smaller blog, and then link to a bigger blog actually on your website. So I write 2 to 3 paragraphs on LinkedIn and I publish them, and then I say, if you want to read the full blog, go ahead and go over to my website. The 2 or 3 paragraphs is 100% completely different than what's on my full blog, because I want to make sure that I'm not sharing the same exact wording or content on both sites. So that's just another way that you can use it to get traffic back to your blog or your website. Number 3, build your email list. Show that up there. There you go. So building your email list, you can do a number of different ways, and we're actually not going to get into that today. Thank you, Fran, for the thumbs up there. Building your email list, once you figure out the niche and the sweet spot for you to build your email list, you're able to use that email and that email list as a platform to blog, as a platform to have a conversation with someone, as a platform to link back to your website, anything like that. So even if you have a small list, you still can make a big impact if you're looking to get traffic to your website. Not necessarily everybody is looking for sales in the end, obviously, but not necessarily for sales right away in the beginning. You're looking to get that traffic so that they can see that you are consistent, that you know what you're talking about, that what you're offering is valid and real, and it's a good thing for them to be engaged with. So your email list is a great place to start. If you haven't started growing your email list, I would definitely do some research and figure out how to do that as well, because that will be a very good thing for you in the long run. It does take some work, and it is somewhat tedious until you find your sweet spot, but it does pay off in the long run. All right, flip. There we go. Commenting on other blogs. This one is time consuming. I will put that out there. But the time consuming part is beneficial. So what you do is you will go find other blogs that are relevant in your industry. So if you are with, again, Arbonne or say Rodan and Fields, and you're talking about, like with Arbonne, everything's natural. There's no hormones, there's no, I can't even think of the words right now, but it's an organic, natural type of product. And if that's something that you're really looking for and that's your niche, then go find other people. Thank you, Fran. Go find other people that are talking about ways to eat organic or ways to live organic or things like that. They don't have to be about your products. They don't have to be talking about selling products. But if you go and engage with that community that's already like-minded, then and you comment on their stuff, then you will be starting conversations with that niche market. So if there are, Fran, because you're on here, I'm going to pick on you. If there are people that are coffee lovers, that is something I know you, one of the companies you do, I know you have 4 streams of income. We kind of touched on when we were talking back a few weeks ago. But for that one strand of income, if you go out and find other things that coffee likers love, not just coffee, then you connect with them on a different level. So a lot of people think that when they comment or when they start a discussion with someone, they need to go Okay, enough. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to be Vanna myself. Okay. I gotta think about this for a second because I think I lost my train of thought. No. So, a lot of people think that if they are, we're gonna put this down for a second. Thank you. If they are not coffee lovers, or if they are coffee lovers, you should be talking to them. And here's what we're gonna do. Thank you for helping me, but I need to finish this and you're helping me lose my train of thought. So give me a couple minutes, okay? Nope, out of here.
I just want to be back here.
Nope, out of here, please. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna focus back in. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so one of the things a lot of people think of is that they are going to, yes, go ahead. They are going to want to connect with people that are coffee lovers. And unfortunately, if they already love coffee, they probably already love a specific brand as well. It's probably not something that you're going to be able to convince them to change. They are already kind of set in their ways, or they already have like a routine that they're used to. So what you want to do is you want to figure out the psychographics of those coffee lovers. What else do they like? Because maybe they like going out and going shopping. Maybe they like, I mean, this is very broad. Maybe they like soccer, things like that. Whatever it is in your local area, figure that out. Figure out their psychographics and not their demographics. And then start to connect with people on that level. Start to go in there and comment and start a discussion with them on that level about what they already like. And then later on down the road, when you build that relationship, they're going to realize about what you have to sell for your coffee, or I mean for Avon or Rodan and Fields or whatever. Fran, I was just picking coffee because you were on here. But you need to make sure that you're not just going to websites to comment or interact or start discussions, whether it's social media, blogs, whatever, about coffee. You want to make sure it's other things. People don't just love coffee and that's it. They also are involved with other things. They have families, they're full-time or part-time moms, things like that. So look at some of those psychographics first. And then when you work on that and you find that niche, go and start commenting, because what happens when you comment is not only do you start that discussion with them and you open it up for them to come and build that relationship with you, but you also have the opportunity to leave your website link and your email on those comments. So if someone wanted to start a discussion with you off of line, quote unquote, off of that website and not continue a stream of comments right there, they have other ways to connect with you. So make sure that you're doing that as well. It is a little time consuming to find those websites and do those comments because you want to make sure they're genuine. You don't want to just blanket out your comments. You don't want to just have the same comment for every 5 blogs you do. But once you start investing in that time, even say 20 minutes in the morning before you go into your other routine, and you do 2, maybe 3 blogs and quick get those through, think of some really great comments. I would say at least 4 to 5 sentences. That's my other thing. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense to take your time and comment on there. But to be sincere, it will start to be a part of your routine, and you'll start to see that organic traffic coming back to your website, again, whether it's a website you control or whether it's a website you don't control. The last 2 that I have for you is obviously get social. I don't think need to be reminded of this, but be on social media. If you don't have control of your website, social media is your website. You can do live streaming videos about real things that have happened to you, about who you are. You can tell your story, you can tell your why, you can feature products, you can feature tips, you can do things like I do where I help do trainings, things like that. You can, if you are a graphic designer, you can set your live stream up and have someone watch you while you go through a design. There are so many number of things that you can do now with social media and live streaming and things like that, that you need to get social. One of the things that I will say, being authentic in this video, is I am social, but I definitely struggle with being personable when I'm social. I have had this notion growing up that you need to always be professional, and you need to make sure that you have a professional face and you're dressed up and there's no kids around and it's just very business-like. And I've known that I've been like that for a while. What I didn't know is that it came across so strongly until a few days ago. I was speaking with someone and she was very kind to be able to give me some feedback and say, I didn't really know who you were, let alone really like who you were or your brand, until you started opening up, until you started showing me who you really were versus who the brand really is. So that's something I struggle with. So make sure you guys look at that. Make sure if you want to be corporate, that's totally fine. But I was trying to fit a circle in a square, so to speak. Or a square in a circle. I think I mixed that up. But anyway, you get what I mean. I was trying to be too corporate when that was not my personality. That is not my feeling. Yeah, that was how I was raised. That was how you're taught to live. That's kind of how you're taught to run a business, or that was my background in how you were taught to run a business. But that's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. So that is something I am also working on. So that is something that I urge you guys, when you are social, you probably know you have to be social. That's kind of, hello, yeah. You don't have to be everywhere online. Pick where you think your niche is and focus on that. I do think that there are ways you can automate to be multiple places, but focus your energy in one place and make sure you are not being stuffy. That is something that I'm really trying to change, and I hope that you guys start to see that, because I want it to be more of like a friend conversation. I want it to be more of like I can be helpful. I'm not a corporate. I'm not a corporation. I don't have 5,000 employees behind me. I have my one little sidekick that's over in the kitchen now. And that's it. So the last thing that I'm going to talk about is a big one. This is going to be primarily for those that have control over their website. This is submitting your content or your site. Yeah, I know. It was very sweet of that person to share that with me. It was very, some people feel scared to share things like that, and it was very forward, and I'm a very forward, blunt person. I like to be told how it is, and so I am very grateful for that person for stepping up and not being afraid to say, hey, I have a suggestion. This is what I've noticed. And this is the changes that I've seen in the past couple weeks with what you've been doing. So I want to encourage you to continue that and X, Y, and Z. So it was really nice, Fran. It was. So the last thing that I have for you is those who have control over your website, submit your content and your site to aggregators. And what I mean by that is sites that allow you to submit articles to their site to help you get search indexed on Google and Yahoo and Bing. So those are my tips. I will quick run through them again here for you. I'm not going to go through each explanation. If you weren't on here, sorry, you got to catch the replay. But build your email list, comment on other blogs, do guest blogging. You can blog on LinkedIn, get social, and submit your content or your site to aggregators. So that is what I've got for you this morning. That is a part of my routine weekly for my website, and it does, yes, you're so welcome, Fran. It does help with the traffic that I get to my website. I will say it's very extremely important that I continue that, and I will continue that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and if you have any questions, definitely type in the chat and I will let you know. Replay viewers, you are more than welcome to type in the chat as well. I always come back and check these videos to make sure I am not leaving anyone out. All right, guys, sorry about the technical difficulties yesterday. My phone totally died, and then I couldn't get it to turn back on even when I had it charged. So we just needed to call it for the night, and that is why I finished this morning. So I will see you guys later, and you guys have a great weekend. Help. Fran, you typed help. I will help you. You need to message me. I don't know what you need help with, but let's talk. Everybody else, you guys have a great weekend. I may or may not be on live streaming this weekend, full disclosure. I may possibly have the house to myself this weekend. The boys may be all gone, so I might be relaxing to myself without live streaming, but we'll see. I may get something out there where I can give you guys some tips and tricks. So if you guys have any questions, like I said, please type it in the chat. I would love to have a discussion with you about helping you any way that I possibly can. All right, guys, have a good weekend.